Are we going to see you?
I don't know, can everybody see me?
Just sit on her lap.
I can see you on the phone.
You're on there.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Temple of Spiritual Awareness. Shall I introduce you?
No. Everybody knows me, right?
Everybody knows who
No,
you
I
don't know you at all. I'm going to go ahead and start us with prayer, so if everybody would join us in prayer. Dear Mother, Father God, Source Creator, Source of all life, thank you for all that share in this time and coming together. We ask that you always bring to our hearts and our minds balance. This month we'd like to evaluate, not just evaluate, but elevate our love, our understanding of love, and not just love, unconditional love. Bring to our hearts and our minds the true essence of unconditional love. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you very much, Lizzie. So, it's February. Yay! So it's the season of love. And we thought that we'd share with you this month a whole bunch of different aspects of love. You would think that it's a pretty simple subject, but it is a little bit more complicated if you think about it than just simply God is love, right? So we're going to cover a couple of things. We're going to cover unconditional love, according to me. We're going to talk about brotherly love in the congregation. We're going to talk about love on a global scale and how we can express it to make the world a happier, fuller, more vibrant place. And we're going to talk a little bit about interpersonal relationship love as well. So there'll be a whole bunch of different talks on the subject. On Sunday, this Sunday, we have our first Sunday service, and Reverend Max is going to be sharing his thoughts on love in the aspect of what, Reverend Max?
Metaphysical spirituality.
Metaphysical spirituality and... Say it again.
Metaphysical spirituality, philosophy of love.
The philosophy of love. So I hope that you all can take some time out of your busy schedule and make it to listen to these talks. I think that you'll find them hugely beneficial in your life. Tonight, I thought that we could talk a little bit about unconditional love. And the reason that I picked that particular one is because when we talk about love, it's the first love that comes to mind. Oh, I love you unconditionally. How many people have said that to their significant other? At one point. Well, that's good. I'm really glad to see that. That's nice. Working on it. So, the reason that I say that is because if you think about what that means, unconditional love, that means that that person can do or say anything. It wouldn't matter what it was, right? What the conditions were, that you would love them anyway. So now me just saying that to you, how many of you feel like you have unconditional love for another person in your life? They could do anything.
Not really.
Not really. No, not really. It's really funny, though, because we so aspire to that. We aspire to unconditional love. But the reality is, nobody in this room unconditionally loves anybody.
That's true.
Let me explain to you why. If I come home today from this meeting and I find my husband, Calvin George, in my living room with another woman having sex, but I love you unconditionally, right?
Not really.
Not really.
Not really.
No,
I
no,
loved you up until the time you
no,
had sex.
no. So let's face it, we all have certain personal conditions in our relationships. right? We have standards for behavior. We have an agreed upon way that we deal with each other. So within the scope of our relationship, he knows that that's not something that I'm going to accept. So he knows when I open that door, what's going to happen. Ho ho! It's gonna be a crazy scene, okay? Possibly a murder scene. No. But there's my unconditional love. So I think it's funny though, because we throw these terms around all the time. You know, I love you so much. I love you so unconditionally. No, you don't. And we need to really examine what that means to us. So when we think about relationships and we think about people that we have come closest to that mark with, that would, because we're talking about who in our life loves us unconditionally. That would be God, right? Spirit, source. Source loves us unconditionally. It rains on the good and the bad. The sun shines on the good and the bad. Murderers, pedophiles, everybody, right? Saints and sinners alike. And so in that way, we have an idea of what it means to have unconditional love. We understand it. We get a taste of it. We have a sense of what it is to love somebody unconditionally. But within our own human limited ability, based on the way that we structure our relationships, it's very difficult to love somebody unconditionally. The closest that I have come to loving somebody unconditionally in my personal life would be my child. So, especially my small child, right? So when your child is first born, they can do no wrong. What do? They eat, they sleep, and that's pretty much it. They laugh, they cry, but they can't do anything bad because they're helpless, right? And we love them we are in love with them. Everything they do. And did you ever notice that a mother that has an ugly baby? Now, I know you're saying there are no ugly babies, but there are. There are some real funny looking babies. Yes. I'm sorry. So, a mother of an ugly baby, does she love her baby less than the mother of a beautiful baby? No, because that love is unconditional. She only sees how beautiful her baby is because it's her baby, right? So that is as close as I can even fathom what it would be like to have unconditional love for another human being. This is fleeting, though, because now that baby that's helpless and innocent and can do no wrong grows up, and then they test you. Right? Again and again. And then you have to apply conditions to the relationship, right? Yeah. And that's why most of us, when we're teenagers and we do something wrong, or at least I should speak for myself. When I was a teenager and I did something wrong, I was terrified to go home. Terrified. Because I knew I was going to get my ass beat so bad. So bad. So, I knew that those conditions were in our relationship. There were definite conditions for approval, right? There were conditions for that kind of love and affection that I desired from my mother, and I knew that if there were certain things I did, that those would be withheld. So when we talk about unconditional love, how do we aspire to that? We aspire to that by understanding how it is that Source loves us. And then we practice it. We mimic. That's how we learn, right? So if you take guitar lessons, how do you first learn how to play guitar? You watch your teacher, right? And then you mimic the motions. You do the same thing. No, put your hands here. No, put your hands here. No, stroke the guitar this way. So that's how you learn. And that's how we learn to love unconditionally. It's by understanding that regardless of what people say, or what people do, or what people don't say, or what people don't do, that they are just people like you, right? That they make mistakes and they do things and say things that sometimes can get under our skin and make us angry and frustrate us. or separate us in some way emotionally. It causes a rift between us for a time. If we're practicing unconditional love, right? We're practicing unconditional love, then we're saying, okay, I get it. This hurt my feelings. But that doesn't mean that I don't love you. It doesn't mean if you didn't come to me and say, I need some help from you, I would say, oh no, don't you remember that time you were mean to me and now, oh no, I can't be nice to you now. Because that's not what Source does, right? Doesn't matter if I yell and scream and bitch and moan about the rain. God doesn't withhold the rain from me when my vegetables need to be watered or my plants need to be watered. It still rains. He doesn't say, oh, nope, remember that time you complained about the rain? It's not going to rain for you anymore. I'm going to rain only on your neighbor's house. And you can just look from a distance. Right? That's not the way it works. So when we have interpersonal relationships with people, when we have complicated interpersonal relationships with people, it is essential that we follow that model and understand within ourselves that this is something that we're aspiring to. It's not an easy thing to do, certainly to be like the source of all creation. That is a very difficult thing. Should you give up? Is it unattainable? Absolutely not. Because why? Because Source resides within you, and you reside within Source. So the capacity is there. The capacity is there. I don't know anybody that has reached it yet, but we aspire to it. And we practice it. So the next time somebody cuts you off, there's your opportunity. The next time somebody hurts your feelings or cusses you out, there's your opportunity. The next time your child says something that hurts you to the very heart, that's your opportunity. That's your opportunity to practice unconditional love. Forgive. God never holds a grudge. Source doesn't hold a grudge. Doesn't withhold anything from you. Give of yourself. That's part of unconditional love. And so the next time you hear somebody say, oh, I love you unconditionally, you're going to remember this talk and say, oh, no, you don't. But understand that sometimes when we're saying that, that's our way of trying.
Yeah.
That's our way of assigning to ourselves, I am going to try to love you beyond my limited capacity within my mind and my heart. I'm going to expand. Sylvianne's really good with that. Expand and release.
Open and expand.
Open and expand your heart. Open and expand your understanding of these words and terms that we just throw around so loosely without really thinking about what they mean. And one of the things that we teach is what? Words have power. So when you're using the words, make sure that the actions are behind, that you're following behind them. I am doing my best to love you unconditionally. Each shining bright light in this room. And see in you all the beauty and all the wonder and all the awesomeness that is you. And the light that shines in you and through you. And that's not an easy thing to do. So I offer this opportunity to you and make the suggestion that you join me in my efforts. I leave that with you. It's a blessing.
Thank you.
So now we're going to do a meditation. Would you do me a favor? Yes, whatever you play is fine. Choose whatever you like. We're going to take a nice deep breath. I'm going to turn the lights down a little bit. How's that? Oh, nice. I'm really loud. All right. Nice deep breath. Hands loosely in your lap, feet flat on the floor. Hold that breath in just for a second so it really fills your lungs, and then release it. And again. And just feel your body begin to relax. Focus on your breath. And let your mind just release the cares and anxieties and concerns of the day. One more deep breath. And then just allow your breath to follow a natural rhythm, whatever's comfortable for you. Make an effort to breathe deeply and fully, but just comfortably. And you'll notice as you're breathing that there's an acute awareness of the space in the middle of your chest. Because as we're talking about love, we feel that chakra and that energy moving and flowing. That energy space. Just bring your mental attention to that space. And with your breath, just open up that space. Just so that your breath and your mind and your body are in line with the work that we're about to do. Feel the swirling of that energy. Just be aware of any blockages, any resistance to your breathing. And release any tension in that space and in that energy. Bring your attention there, continuing to breathe into that center, into that heart center. It may even make you feel a little lightheaded if you're releasing some anxiety there, some restriction. Notice a freeing of the motion, a freeing, a flowing that is going on in that energy center now. Balancing our heart chakra. As you continue breathing, you feel a lightness take place. A lightness in your body physically, but also in the energy around you. And we offer that space the opportunity to opening our heart. Of that energy move all across your energy field. Now that void, that space that is your heart chakra is so big and so vast. So open. Virtually fill the room. Now we're going to draw into that space the unconditional love from Source. You can picture this any way you like, as a violet light, as a white light, as a sharp blue light, whatever resonates with you. As a warm feeling, as a cool feeling, whatever feels right for you. And as we breathe, we draw that energy, that unconditional love energy from Source, into our expanded heart. Feel it fill every corner. For lack of a better word, it feels good. It feels right. You feel whole and complete and full. And loved. And now we're going to condense that energy and pull our expanded heart space back into our body, back into the heart chakra area in our energy body. And as we do that, that love, that unconditional love from Source is condensed and concentrated and pulled deep, deep into us. We can feel that it's nearly overflowing. And so we're going to let it flow out of our heart chakra, down into our body, all the way to our toes, and up through the top part of our body, down our arms, down into our fingers, up our throat, and up into our head. And you notice that you begin to radiate unconditional love. Pulsing all through your energy body. And just stay in that space. With our next deep breath, we close our heart chakra, being full and open. Now we're just protecting ourselves, bringing ourselves back to a natural state, whole and healed, energized and vibrant. With another breath, we bring ourselves into the space of awareness, into our chair, into this moment. And then when we're ready with the breath, we can open our eyes. Just being aware that we can revisit that sense of unconditional love, becoming consciously aware of our connection to Source at any time. And in those moments when we're not feeling loved, go to that place. Go to that place of love.